Welcome back, my friends, After Hours. Today's culprit. Let's get the paper. Boy, people, you sign your names so wonderfully big. Blinking red light, blink sound, no service, smell of smoke. I love it. We're going to do this quick and see what we can find out. So let's move that back out of the way. I kind of remember this tower. Got some unintentional friendly fire coming in. Let's go ahead and attempt to pull this off without banging it around. It sticks. There it goes. Alright, with that out of the way, hopefully we don't trip on that later. Let's take a look inside this thing. Okay, so we're going to need some power hooked up in order to properly see what's going on with it. So let's get, just in case they diagnosed it as something that it isn't. Not doubting users, but we're going to take a look and see. So we'll get our mouse and keyboard plugged in. We got speaker, KVM's on, monitor's on. Let's plug in the monitor quick. Is that upside down or right side up? Upside down. Alright. It's got to be difficult, so we'll send that difficulty right back. Get the internet. Not that I expect any of this to work. Going by that assessment. And then our power will plug in. Let's see what happens. Okay, going by that, what we're going to do is we're going to jump over here to a new tab in the browser. HP Compact Elite 8000 beep codes. Power. Okay, so for beeps, power failure, power supply is overloaded, or the incorrect external power supply adapter is being used on the USDT. We didn't get any more than 4 slow beeps. Let's go ahead. We're gonna pull our power cord. We need to pull a few wires out of here. What can we get? We'll pull our power supply from there. Oh, wow. There is nothing to this. Can we even test this thing? This is quite a proprietary power supply. So we literally have a 12-volt rail and a 6-pin. 6-pin. That goofy plug. And what else? That's it. We got a 12-volt rail, 6-pin, and 2 6-pins with only 5 of them occupied on this one. So we got 5, 6, 11 pins, and then our 12-volt rail is the only thing coming out of that power supply. This is getting to be some old technology at this point. Let's see what it is in there. So it's 2 gigs, 2 gigabytes of DDR2. No, I lied, DDR3, so it is DDR3 10600U. But that is one proprietary power supply. That's the bad thing. You can't even get just your common power supply from it. Wow. You can't even run this with a normal power supply. I mean, I suppose we could get a pin out and test voltages and chop these and put them onto a new one, but why ruin a perfectly good 20 plus 4 or 24 pin power supply when we can do that there? P3, P1. Yeah, we don't even have the right voltages going where they're supposed to, so we don't even have a way to test this other than to literally test it. With a multimeter, possibly? Yeah. So we do need to get one of these. We'll have to have a talk with the owner of this computer. DDR3, I don't know. Let's look up the specs on this and see what kind of hardware he's working with. So this is one of those goofy hybrid boards. According to the words on the line, we got an Intel Core 2 Duo E8400, 33 megahertz front side bus. So that's insane. So it's a Core 2 Duo E8400 with, I want to pull the RAM just to read this right instead of trying to read it sideways. Let's take a look at this thing. Anybody that knows any little thing about computers knows what I'm talking about right now. Two gigs of PC3, 10,600U, 910 AO for the timing. So this is definitely DDR3. So you got a Core 2 Duo what is that, a Q45 chipset with DDR3. I mean, is the Core 2 Duo E8400 still relevant today? 3 gigahertz for the clock speed, 6 megs of L2 cache, 1333 megahertz frontside bus. I mean, yeah, no, I guess it could be relevant. So yeah, sadly, before we can even do anything else, did we get a look at that while I had it out? That legit came out of that computer. That's gonna focus. Probably not. Seems like a failing mission. 2 gigabytes of PC3. Alright, let's move you out of the way. Go back to that camera. Alright, so we gotta get even a proprietary power supply in here, or upgrade to a new computer, or possibly new parts. So, case solved. I'm gonna say power supply. Let's take a look at the motherboard in case it's not. I don't see any blown caps. I don't even know when these things came out. Let's find out. Do we even get a date of when they looked at this? I'm looking online right now. Web page is still loading. I don't think it's going to give a date. Let's go back to the Google. I mean, even, so let's say that board would take a Core 2 quad. You're still running old hardware. Like, is Intel still making Core 2 chips? I didn't think so. Maybe. So let's try and get chances that the ROM has been swapped out. What does that unlock? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to undo the front. But I believe it may be being held in. I'm just trying to date this thing. There we go. So if we are to believe this ROM, which is highly likely unless Toshiba Samsung storage technology. Toshiba and Samsung with their name on the same device. Imagine that. Not in 2019. That would be slander. Defamation of character. July 2008. Wow. So is it safe to say that's when this computer is from? Let's check. Let's see if some other stuff matches up. Let's check out this hard. The hard drive looks a lot newer, like it was replaced. I'm gonna. I take that back. Maybe it wasn't. So, manufactured when? Let's decode this. What date do you have on you? If any. If any, Western Digital. Give us the information. Okay, so 24th of November 2010. So let's say, best case scenario. Let's check the power supply for a date. No conclusive ways of actually dating this thing, but I'm more or less curious to see, does anything match up? Alright, so we have a different revision of power supply, revision 0B. Alright, no actual date on the power supply. So let's say 2010. 2010, it seems likely that Core 2 chips were still being put into computers, and that would have been close enough, I think, to DDR3 maybe? Maybe? Wow. So, timed upgrade? Quite possibly. I think so. Three year on the warranty. It does have Windows 7 stickers, so yeah. I don't know. This is one of those hard calls. I think you got to see what, honestly, you got to see what your people want to do. You can order them this proprietary power supply, provided you can find it. However, you're going with an old computer, a good computer, nonetheless, a good computer, but old. I think it would be more beneficial to spend money on something a little newer, even if you get something recertified, refurbished, even used. Newer used is likely to last longer than this older used. We'll find out though. We'll make that call tomorrow and see what's up. I figured it would be a short one today, but I didn't think this short. I thought we could possibly get into and oh, friendly fire, sorry about that. Get into the power supply and get our tester out and put it on. However, that didn't quite happen that way. We're gonna unplug this thing. I actually might have one of these power supplies here. I'm going to take a look. I know I don't have... You know what? Let me look. Maybe we can actually do something with this, do something about this. I honestly... What is this? An HP compact Presario 6300 small form factor. But even if you're weak, do you have the same proprietary connections that I need? We got a 6-pin, yes we do. So we got a little no-name means nothing computer here. This is one that has a 3rd or 4th gen Intel processor in it. Wow. I guess this is what, a kind of... We have the same power connectors. Let's see if our power supply is the problem. It does have the same power connectors, so as far as wattage being output, 240 watts. Should be enough for this desktop. The one in the desktop is putting out 320. So we're what? 240, 60, 80 watts away. We'll leave We'll leave some of the stuff out. We'll keep... Boy, what can we keep out of this thing? We'll keep, obviously we need the hard drive. We want to see if that is going to work, right? So we'll plug the hard drive back in. And we'll send power to it. Right there. Give me a moment, we'll pull the stock power supply. I'm glad I thought of this. We can see if this power supply is good, and then it actually lets me diagnose another computer that's here. This is one of those goofy things that you don't get to do unless you happen to think of it and try. So let's do a little show and tell quick before I take that power supply out. Here is, not granted, the ROM's out. Let's put it back in. Okay, it's in. Let's latch our front cover back on quickly now. Quickly. Got a date away from the kit. Okay, so we're going to try and show you. We've got this here. Let's go there. So that's a tower. We've got a good 18 inches to 2 foot. That has a bad power supply. The one that we're looking at is another HP, but it's a small form factor computer compared to a mini tower. However, almost same series of computer, but it has the same proprietary power connectors that HP used in some of the, what do I want to call it, business class computers. And we're actually going to check out the color coding on them to make sure that they are compatible. We'll see if this goofy power supply is going to make this boot. If it does, we'll try and find the other proprietary one. If not, I still think it would be beneficial though to upgrade. Versus fixing this old hardware. You come out of there and unlatch. So let's see. This is our power supply. We literally have three wires coming off of it. Here is our other power supply. So it is a funny shape. You can obviously tell that they're different. But let's take a little look, see, we're going to stack them up, see how they stack up against each other. So our 6-pin wire, the way that it clips in, we do have 2 yellows, a black, 2 yellows, a purple, a blue, and then on the back side is where our blue and 2 black wires are. That is the same. And then we have this goofy connector that is the same minus a ground wire. So we're missing a ground wire for our USB, likely, and then we have our 12-volt rail, which is the same. So let's see. Can we use the small form factor power supply to boot the big computer? We need to reach the 12-volt rail, which, funny enough, has the longest run, so we're going to have to hold this power supply. And then we need to plug in 2 cables over here, and then plug our power cable in. An extension for this cable would be nice right now. However, I don't think we're going to get it. I just don't see it happening. We do have power going to our hard drive. Let's set this down carefully. We are going to hold it and plug it in. We're going to set it down for right now as we reconnect to our KVM. And this will tell us, is it strictly a power supply problem? Or is it a board problem causing the power supply? Unless we have a bad power supply on the other old computer, which has never been properly diagnosed because of the proprietary format of it, and I haven't. It's not here for a job, it's just scrap. Alright, so we have our monitor. Let's get our monitor, mouse, keyboard, internet, and speaker, 3.5mm cable, and we're going to run our power in. Connect to our power supply. No. Alright, we back? We are. So, my mic, I apologize, chews through batteries like crazy. I don't know where we left off, so I'll just repeat like the last 5 minutes. The proprietary is how power supply works. Most people, if you didn't have one of these around, what could you do? You would have to order one in. But here's the question. Was this power supply actually bad? If we didn't have this here, or have one here that had the same connectors to test, would we have seen the SATA cable light on fire? Because you can't use a normal 20 or 24 pin power supply on this. I mean, maybe you can find a way to chop a connector or chop the wires and splice it up. I'm not about to go to that length. But what we can do is now that the computer's shut down, we're going to pull our monitor, all of our wires, just to get all the power out of it. We'll hit our power button, and see what is the deal. Alright, so the power is bled off. Let's get this little goofy power supply back out of here and see if the original power supply bad? Because it was suspected bad. Generally, when you smell smoke and your computer beeps or don't turn it on or acts like it wants to, and you got that burnt electronic, magic smoke, somebody let the ghost out smell, this generally is power supply, but not always, as we just witnessed. I hope the camera caught that SATA cable lighting up. I really do. Alright, so we have that in. We'll take a moment and put a few screws in, and how about this? We will put so do I feel really unintelligent, or just partially for putting that in upside down, even though the labels are the same on both sides, they're just kind of reversed. Alright. I'll feel incredibly stupid today. Incredibly stupid. Alright, here goes our 12-volt rail. Let's plug in our H proprietary, our Hewlett proprietary power supply wires here. Let's go through the chain. Of connectors that we're gonna plug in. What do we need next? A mouse and a keyboard. You know what? Do we go to the KVM? Let's try out to OBS with our DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. I think it should do it, right? Why not? If the power supply is not dead. Of course, do we want to risk jolting? You know what? We'll juice it. Why not? Okay, we got fan spin. Here's our source in OBS. Directly out of the DisplayPort. Whether it's going to work or not, I do not know. The cam link is lit up, so we'll give it a moment. Let it boot into the OS. Repair, was that the right one? It is. Black screen, PC repair. We're going to activate, or deactivate and reactivate the source. The output FPS video format, all that is currently wrong. So let's deactivate and activate. And likely not. Even though the cam link is active. Alright, so it's not having it right now. Let's try our KVM VGA and see. We should hopefully be up to something by now. Oh yeah, we're at a desktop, working desktop. So let's add the other screen in. Does our mouse work? Our mouse. This is a bad thing about this. KVMs are always screwy. We'll grab this guy, our trusty wireless mouse. This is a keyboard. No, it doesn't. Does it? Maybe I did pair it up, but this one just has a bad time. I'm fairly certain this works. I'm going to try it on my computer to make sure we do indeed have the right dongle. Alright, we got a working mouse. And is it the right dongle? Correction, we'll sort that out tomorrow. But we do at least have a mouse now. Alright, we're going to go in and set up our keyboard. Or our display. Display settings, will duplicate it, and we can fire it right out the display port to KVM and be done with it. We'll show this then. So multiple displays, duplicate them, and that is what we want to do. For some reason it will not. Refuses. Absolutely, positively refuses. Extend. Give me my screen back. revert. Detect. So let's detect them. Keep the changes. So legit, we have the source going out to OBS. I promise you, it's just not liking it one bit. Anyhow, we tried. I tried to send it out. The other little display port connector here, it just will not have it. I promise you it's working now. It's going out to the KVM. So, quickly here, I'm going to take a look at the last piece of the puzzle, and it's time to go. Here is our culprit. So this plugs into the motherboard. This is like a 4-pin, basically like a 12-volt rail power supply. Kind of like a 12-volt rail plug, or half or 2/3 of a 6-pin, half of an 8-pin. More resembles a 12-volt rail plug, and it goes out proprietary from HP boards. I've seen it, and possibly 1 or 2 other manufacturers. Many ITX boards use stuff like this sometimes. It goes out to 2 SATA connectors, and that thing legit just lit on fire and started smoking. It's a lot clearer down there. Like, actually lit up, started burning. I hope the video caught it. So that was our culprit, not a bad power supply after all. As you can see, we have the customer's power supply back in. They should be superbly happy to get this back. And buying a new computer, I would still recommend it, but they don't have to. They can use this Core 2 Duo E8400 that will run Windows 10, albeit a little slow. At least it's a hybrid board that's running DDR3. I would call it a hybrid board. That may not be a proper term, but it is running DDR3, and the Core 2 chips ran primarily DDR2, as far as I remember. Alright, last screw going in. We'll diagnose this one, and I believe this is probably, I can't promise it's going to be no charge, but I would guess it's going to be no charge. I just had to do some slight testing and figure out this wire was bad. Like, I saw the smoke, but I wasn't sure if it was a dirty power supply. Superbly dirty power. Such short leads, it looked like it was coming right out of it, and when really it was the plug was laying, SATA plug was laying right under it. So there you go, not a power supply, not today. Thanks for stopping over, hanging out. Have a good rest of your evening. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Certainly, it's got to be one of those wherever you are. Nighttime, maybe. Yeah. We do have a display capture. Let me look at it quick. We've got the HP forums up, but we're just going to go with the display 3. Look at this. Confirmed where the sun goes after it sets for us. You can see, look, some of the panels on the sun are burning out. Flat Earth confirmed. Flat Earth Santa lives a few miles further past this, but this is where they park the sun at night. You can see somebody found it out. They were there to have their friend take the picture from a standpoint further back. Anyhow. Thanks for hanging out, getting your hands dirty. I'll be back again with something tomorrow. This was just a kind of last minute thing, and it turned into over an hour, so yeah, not a bad power supply. We'll go ahead and let this check on it later. But thanks for hanging out. If you're into this stuff, get out there, share it, like it, share it with people, show them how to do it. You know, spread love, spread the joy, the fun, the passion, the hobby. These devices are not going anywhere anytime soon. They're only getting more advanced. So, thanks for clicking that link and hanging out. I appreciate each and every one that does it, whether it's 1 view, 10, 100, whatever. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.